Alrighty, hey guys, FunnyGuyTimmy here for a kind of a tutorial video, but this is more kind of a behind the scenes. I don't know if it's a tutorial or a how-to because I'm just starting and I don't know how it's going to turn out yet. So I don't know if the advice I'm going to give is going to be up to par just yet. But I'm actually doing this video because I was doing a live stream. Some of you guys might have seen. I was doing a live stream. But it wasn't panning out. It was just not working out at all. So, you know, everything was slowing down. It just kept cutting out, audio issues, all kinds of stuff. So I am going to be doing this as just a video just to make sure that everyone gets to see it. So that's good. Basically going to cover kind of what I already said in the live stream. So this was so I'm working on a new character or anime demo. I'm shooting for an anime demo, so I'm trying to go for an anime style, but not all of the ideas that I've come up with are very specifically anime. There's a right and wrong way of of doing that. And this one is kind of let's just listen to it. So what I have here in Audacity, nope, wrong one. What I have here in Audacity is basically the full project. The problem is that with this many layers and at 96 kilohertz, which is how I like to edit. I like editing in 96 kilohertz for audio because if you're doing any kind of like pitch change or noise or distortion, it comes out cleaner. It does less damage to the voice, which is what I highly recommend for everybody. So if you're going to be doing any kind of like, also with I think some of these tracks with like the noise or the sound effects or the ambience or the music, I actually did some stretching, like some time stretching and pitch changing. So it worked better in here at a higher bit rate. At a higher, at a higher bit rate, but also at a higher kilohertz. So what I have here is all the layers, which is a whole bunch of ambience and rumbling, which was the first thing I put in. So the first thing I did was actually the character voices. So I have these character voices, which I recorded separately, and I cleaned them up, and I compressed them, did some EQ, and I think I actually trimmed this one up to make it shorter. And I think I did the same thing with this one. I got rid of like gaps to kind of make it more concise. And then I actually added a layer of sound effects. This is probably going to run better here. So we're going to solo this. So this is let's just listen to it.
Ship hull integrity is holding strong at 90%. 12%.
So the idea that I had was to do a kind of a solo pilot kind of character, solo fighter pilot, character who is being shot out. He's in a space battle. He's got like kind of a small fighter, and there's only it's pretty much just him and his one AI robot. And so I have the musical track, an ambience track, a couple ambient tracks. So I wanted one that was just kind of a low rumble, and then another one that was kind of more activity, a little bit more there, more like stuff that's happening outside the ship. And then I had things like collision, glass breaking, stuff like that. I can show you in this one. So I have these ones are like small explosions. And they're just happening like kind of randomly. There's one that's more like a kind of, I think one of them was more of kind of like an airplane fighter, flying and being shot at. So you got by the artillery. So you got the explosions happening in the air. So you get that boom, 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 boom kind of sound. And then this one was just kind of like distant rumbles. So if I can pull this one up just by itself, solo that one. And they get a little bit louder. So you get to this one. And this one's like, it doesn't get that much louder, but this one I want it to be a little bit louder because it complemented the rest of these to give it that real low bass. And then even after I found that, I even tweaked it a little bit more to make it lower, to give it more of a lower frequency. So it would, because the voice is, specifically within an area. So I wanted to put basically the sound effects and the ambience in either the really high frequencies or the really low frequencies. So they're not overlapping over the dialogue, wherever the dialogue lives, which is, it's like 1,000 hertz to, what is it? It might be like 500 hertz to like 5 kilohertz. I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's a specific range. You can probably look it up. Specific range where the voice lives, and so my focus was trying to put low frequency, like when they're talking, because I have this explosion collection right there of all these guys, which are just basically all the explosions. Everything that goes together to make an explosion rich and thick and full and loud. But there's also right where there's no talking. So there's no talking right there. So I can have these within that same area where the voice would normally live. And it's not going to... Oh, shit. Oh, that's what I did. Mute, and mute. Okay. So we're going to listen to this. Come on. Get up there. There we go. Let's go ahead and listen back. So I got these little glass breaking. It coincided with these kinds of thuds in a more ambient sound, as well as the laser or gunfire. So it's kind of like he's flying, he's getting hit, he's getting smashed, and the glass is getting cracked, and then you get this one loud at the end. So I included the very loud rumble, which isn't that loud, but it did add that bassy shake, a loud glass break. I added a loud gunfire, loud metal smashing. I think there was a second glass break, which might be this one, which had a little bit more of a chunkier element rather than like a sharp sound to it. And then there was a big explosion, some more crashes and booms. And so putting all those together gave me that solid explosion sound. And so all that can happen right here in the middle where there's no dialogue. And then, so I have, this one was like the bomber, this bomber sound. It's kind of this rumble. There's just this kind of like metallic activity, just this machine activity. And then I have just this low warble. Let's see if I can turn this up. Just a shaking. Very low ambient shaking. And I wanted that as kind of like, that's the sound of space, which, as we all know, there is no sound of space, but that was basically what I used as the sound of space. So we're going to go in here. This one, I think this one's another one, and I think I looped this one. No, okay. No, this one's actual space battle, which actually technically should have been lowered down because I had the other ones down here. But it's fine. So this one's like high-pitched lasers. Just very stereotypical lasers. It's I think it's a loop file or something like that. And it's just like standard space battle kind of thing. This one, I think with this one I actually took earthquake sounds, if I remember correctly. Earthquake sounds, and then I basically cut off the higher end, so I just had that random, because the other one was a little too uniform. So I wanted something that might sound a little bit more like moving to different areas of the combat. So it's like it's because it got louder throughout. Really shake, and it kind of dips down a little bit. And you can hear like there's something shaking in the background. So it kind of sounded like it was about that one's supposed to sound more like the vehicle or the spacecraft shaking. Don't remember what this one was. Someone firing guns in the background. Which I don't know. I don't know if I needed to make that one louder. Oh, it's too late. I've already rendered it. You know, who gives a crap? And it sounds fine. This one was... Oh, crap. Oh, yeah. So this one I wanted mostly just because it kind of lined up with the rumbling here, as if, like, after they got hit, more of the rumbling from outside leaked in, kind of thing. That's why it got louder right there. So this. So immediately after they get hit, they get an alarm, which is actually 3 alarms. So that's the first one. I think there's 3. There might be more. So that one, okay, so one of them was going to be sounding more like emergency, get to the escape pods or get to the exit or pull the cord or whatever. And this one's mostly more like fuel is dropping, or, you know, you got, it's a dashboard alarm. So I like that one. So I want the dashboard alarm on that one. And then this one, oh, there we go. Okay, and that's basically where the whole thing ends. It's right there. Yeah. So it doesn't go further than that. But that one was, again, supposed to be another, like as if a different thing was going off on your dashboard. So it already had, like, the mayday and the evacuate and all that kind of stuff. So this one, I did a lot to this one. I don't remember what I did. Oh, yeah, this one was a whole lot sharper. And so, why did I have to play through the whole thing? I guess I just didn't notice. Well, it turned out fine. So this one would probably be more like if you have, like, missiles, you know, you're being locked on, you're being targeted. This one's got, like, that kind of, like, missile locked on sound. Kind of. Or maybe like a fire alarm. So that one just going throughout, I guess, was fine. Boop, solo. Just more random space fighting. Another earthquake. Yeah, and so this one, I got rid of more of the low end. So it would pick up, it would basically overlap, and so you have one of the earthquake rumbling sounds, which was more on the lower end, and then this one was more on the higher end. Because I wanted that, whatever that was. It also, again, sounds like more like wind rushing against, like, your ear or against, like, a window. And then finally, I think this one was just another space battle. Yeah, that's all that one was. Okay, so yeah, there was no music track on this one. Oh, could have sworn there was. All right, so what I did, I actually rendered out all of the solid ambience in one track, and then the explosion in another track, and then each one of the voices in their own track. And so then I brought it in here. And the reason I wanted to do it in here is because in Sony Vegas, I had more control over... Why do I got to keep saving that? In Sony Vegas, I had more control over, like, fine-tuning the volume settings per track as it went on. It's a little bit more complicated. No, not that. It's a little bit more complicated in Audacity. I mean, you do have this tool, but to have to go in and manually do it, especially when it's running slow because of how large the project was, I was like, I'm just going to do it in here. Just render them out, the ones that I wanted, and then fine tune it in here. And so as we can see, we have, no, that's not what I wanted. Turn that off. So as we can see, we have this that kind of goes up in this section because you can notice these peaks and then these ones. This area is much quieter. So I didn't want to lose any of the voiceover. I didn't want to lose any of that. So I brought that up, and I also kind of gave it a little bit of a boost at the beginning because I wanted it to come in strong. And then at the same time, kind of brought it up a little bit at the end because I didn't want to lose that last syllable. And then, so here you can notice that the sound effects are really loud during this because this is just him breathing and grunting and getting hurt. But when it comes to dialogue, right when the character starts talking, it dips down. And then right when it goes to this character, because this character is talking a little bit more monotone, a little bit more quiet, it dips down a little bit more. But during the explosion, right there, both the ambience and the sound effects get boosted way up because they're the focus. And then it goes back down for the second voice. And you can see I did the same thing. So it was quiet, so I brought it up, and again, I didn't want to lose that last syllable. Where it was loud, I kept it. Where it was kind of quiet, I dipped it up. Same thing, because I wanted it all to sound really good. So now, here we go.
How hell not, Doc?
Ship hull integrity is holding strong at 90%. 12%.
All right, I hope that wasn't too loud for you guys. Try to make sure that it wasn't. But if you could hear, solo this.
How hell not, Doc?
I gave it a little bit of an echo. Well, actually, it's kind of a strong echo, but I gave it some echo so it would, sound like in a metal tube or in like a command chair or something like that in a metal room, in like an actual where he's actually controlling the ship, wherever that is, or possibly in like a hallway where he's like trying to fix something. Leave it a little bit ambiguous, but I still wanted to sound like he was in interior. He's a metal interior, and so that's why I gave it that echo.
How hell not, Doc?
And so, come on, highlight this. Oh, is it because it's... There we go. And so this is the robot voice.
Ship hull integrity is holding strong at 90%. 12%.
Okay, so for that one, obviously I did a lot of distortion. I did a lot of compression and made sure I took out all the breathing. There's no breathing sounds. And then I EQ'd it to sound like a radio. I gave it a slight echo, but I also gave it a phasing sound. But I did that twice. So first phasing sound was really, really strong. Second one I did was a little bit weaker, but I switched but I kind of changed the frequency. So it went up and down at different times. So it gave it this a little bit more of a mechanical sound.
Ship hull integrity is holding strong at 90%.
You can hear that warbling. That's what it is doing.
12%.
But at the same time, not so much that you can't hear the syllables, that you can't hear what's being said. So this is just all the alarm, explosions, lasers. And you can hear it kind of dips down when it goes back to their talking. And then this one should just be like just the ambience. Oh, I did put music in. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's where I got it. That's where I found. I don't want to play the whole thing because I don't know. I don't know if it's copyrighted. Which, by the way, you're probably asking, can I use copywritten music for my demo? Yes, you can use copywritten music for your demo. You just can't make money off the demo. What I mean by that is you can't monetize the demo and you can't sell the demo. I mean, why would you sell the demo? This is only so that you can, get your name out there and get clients. Can't monetize and you can't do any of that. So,
How the hell not, Doc?
Ship hull integrity is holding strong at 90%. 12%.
so you can barely hear the music back there, but it does add to it. See what it sounds like without it.
How the hell not, Doc?
Ship hull integrity is holding strong at 90%.
See, that's more like how I would have done it back in the day. Well, probably not as many layers. Probably would have been like 4 layers of sound effects and that's it. But that sounds more like what I would have done it like back in the day without music. But with the music, it makes it sound a little bit more real, a little bit more intense.
How the hell not, Doc?
Ship hull integrity is holding strong at 90%. 12%.
Especially with that trumpet part at the end. But there you go. That is my latest demo that I made, that I'm working on, and I'm working on more, and I'll probably do a video on those as well. But that's this one thus far. Yeah, again, I was trying to do this as a live stream, but it didn't work out, so I decided let's just go ahead and record this, put this out there for those who are interested. Because I think I've done videos on my doing demos before, and you know, I enjoyed it and people seem to like it, so I want to keep doing that. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Subscribe if you're new, bell for notifications, and leave down in the comment section below if you have any questions or like to see any other kind of videos. So until next time, peace.